awesome. Thank you so much.
But they just didn't really grasp to it because it was what everybody was teaching. Let me see if I can just and I was talking about this stuff, and people knew they needed it on the classic line.
So the show Sopranos, go back and watch if you hadn't. The main lead character, actor in real life, died of a heart attack, right? Because they couldn't catch that cow anymore, right? Because he died in the show as well. But his son, who looks just like him, is now in this second generation of bringing the Sopranos back. Now you're gonna say, Erica, what is this video about? This video is about being a rainmaker, and essentially, what is a rainmaker? We talk about family offices, how these people who are wealthy, extra wealthy, have these family offices. But we have smaller, not as official, but need to be official family offices that happen all every day and every around. Go look at the Sopranos show. They created enough business, quotation marks here, the business. Business that, from different ventures, butcher shops, food places, managing rental properties, owning buildings, right? One part where he tells his son, we own this building, right? And he's like, man, it looks like a piece of crap. But that's the whole point. It's New Jersey. Parts of New Jersey now, the real estate has tripled, if not, quadrupled in price, and people always having rental properties. Now, something I was saying about Houston, Texas, that somebody said, oh man, that must be sketchy, is in the third ward, it used to be Jewish people used to live over there, and then they moved out, of course, right? They went to a different area. Well, now, 5 families pretty much control 80% of the rentals there. It's 3 Jewish families and 2 Italian families. Now, you're going to say, how'd that happen? They became rainmakers for their family, right? They may have slowly and surely, as people had tenant problems, put pictures of tenant problems here, Peter, collected tenants, collected properties that people didn't want anymore or had problems with, right? And now all of a sudden they just had the same collection. They just sat on an area and collected multiple, if not hundreds of houses in an area. This happens in multiple cities where there's essentially 5 to 20 families that own everything in the town that isn't the government, that isn't a major corporation, that isn't nailed down. This isn't nothing new. How do you become a rainmaker, aka build the rainmaking that you're doing now into a family office for your family? First of all, be consistent. Right? You can pretty much watch any interview. I saw one recently with Rants and Gents with Beyond Win. His consistency in coming out of prison and then being focused on real estate and winning in real estate made his children follow his footsteps, but in different ways, right? But still under that umbrella of real estate, so now they all work together, right? This happens all over the country, where the first parent makes big inroads in a particular business and then creates pathways for other family members to partake, to manage, to do this. Okay, hey, you're really good at this, you should manage that over there. Hey, I bought this building, you should run your salon out of that building. Hey, I bought this, you should run that out of there. And the problem with a lot of people is they want to rainmake for themselves. They want to just go take all the vacations by themselves. They want to party by themselves. There's no rainmaking that funnels into 1, more money, and 2, it getting outside of them. So in Fayetteville, in Austin, there's a family that owns a barbecue place. And it's like 2nd, 3rd generation, right? And then there's one around the corner that's kind of rotten into the ground. And his children don't really run it. He runs it still. 70 years old. They have no desire to run it. So developers are coming around asking, can they give him millions of dollars? And he's like, man, I'd love to see millions of dollars before I die. Well, you've seen millions of dollars. They've come through them doors of the business. And that's the problem. When there isn't this 100-year plan for the family, when there isn't a 50-year plan for the family, when there's just like, well, I want to start a business just so I ain't got to work for somebody else. Well, you are working for somebody else. Your customers. That's why I tell people you're playing Monopoly in real life. It starts with the first building, and then what other things did you collect in conglomeration in that part of the city, right? like a fist, and then you start going to Chamber of Commerce meetings, you start going to events with the different people in that city, and then you start buying more and then providing jobs and opportunities for your staff, 1, and 2, your family, and 3, your future generations. That's why when people say, oh man, I'll never be a landlord ever again in my life. And I go, yeah, this must be your first generation of this. Because the majority of these families you're talking to, these Jewish, these Italian, most of these other families, again, more Soprano pictures here, they own rentals. Not just for 5 years, not just for 2 years, not just with one downturn, but since the 60s and 70s and 50s. Now you're going to say, well, Erica, I just, listen, you can't reverse your life and get a head start from 50 years ago. You can't do that. But you can do something about it now. You literally can keep collecting rentals and different properties and growing your portfolio and growing opportunities for yourself and your family so that as times change, and I know there's people in the chat always like, well, Erica, the dollar's dead and this and that. Honey, we still will be using money in this country. I don't care if they say tomorrow we're going to change it to something else. We still will be using money in this country. The same rules that apply here apply elsewhere. I get it. People are trying to find a justification to not participate. Right? Let's just go there. People that can't become rainmakers and can't win in their own life, they go, well, debt is done. Marriage is bad. All these people getting divorced, there's no point in getting a big, expensive job, all the headache, I'll just stay at this low-paying job where I complain every week about it. There's no point in getting in debt. I'll just keep renting apartments and complaining every week about the apartments. There's no point in, you need a new car because if you keep that old car, the car's going to have problems. Listen, people will find excuses for why they're not winners. That's just point blank serious. They'll find excuses for why they're not responsible. They'll find excuses for why they're not the rainmaker in their family or in their kid's life. Well, these kids got to get it out the mud like I did. Do they? Or you just don't want to be responsible? Let's just call it what it is. And if they're hard-headed, they don't want to listen, they don't want to participate in the rainmaking, no problem. But trust me, there are people that are. I've met several families who always have the executive assistant in the office or the CEO of the company or the CFO that's been with the family 20 plus years. He's literally rich off the main family. Grant Cardone's a great example of Jared Glenn. Came to work from in California for pennies on the dollar. Now he's the vice president over a whole different department in his operation and it's millions of dollars, made hundreds of $1,000s a year and takes that money and puts it in apartments and is now a millionaire. So again, you can work for someone, but you got to be actually in the system, in the family system there, like in it. Not just like an occasional worker that shows up sometimes on time, but in the rainmaking system. So again, something I want you to understand is, you may have seen my other video about you are the special sauce. If someone puts you on, you need to take that thing and run. Take it and run. Take the umbrella, take the baton, and run with it. And what you learn in Sopranos is they created a system and a community. And part of the reason, Diamond Dave did a good spot on this where he talked about how did Bill Cosby and some of these people get to jail for all these crazy amount of hours? How? You're like, well, money and listen. Who is the group of people that you have rainmaked and put on, and that if they turn their back on you, it is not financially beneficial to them? I just want you to think about that for a little bit. A lot of people are like, yeah, I'm cool with everybody. No. I don't want to be cool with everybody. That's never been my goal. I like me. You like me, it's a bonus. But people that I rainmake for, let's just keep it a buck. You want that reciprocated at some point in the future. Don't know when, don't know how, but again, Tony Soprano. It's a favor, don't ask me a favor today on my daughter's wedding in the movie, what's that movie, Godfather movie? A lot of these people don't understand that there should be a group of people, there should be a hedge around your name, a hedge around your business, a hedge around what you do, that people can't just come and bulldoze and knock it down. All right? Should be a rainmaker system here, people. Should be able to have lots of people in place. This is why the one person company and this dream of it's just me and I made $1 million in my business. Okay, yeah, okay. That's short lived, y'all. That should not be the goal. It should be having a staff. Having people run that thing so you can go sit down and take breaks when necessary. And that's the problem. People really don't want to talk about that part. where that is necessary. Is developing yourself, investing in yourself, and developing your company into an actual company so that you can rest and live a life and take care of your children and date and marry and such on. Anyways, you guys, I just thought The Sopranos is a great point of this. Rainmaking for your community, rainmaking for your family. This is your girl Erica, out.